Hello everyone, it's been a while. Today is a tutorial video on how to make a functioning camera system in Minecraft Bedrock Edition. Use this for your any FNAF map. I've used this countless times and recently I decided to renovate it. So this new system is going to be for public use and anyone can use it. Even event owners who want to make anything. It doesn't have to be just for FNAF. So without further ado, let's begin. The first, we're actually going to build something. We're gonna build a small building. Okay, now that we have a small idea of what we're doing, one of the first things I recommend doing when building your map is to first literally have a place to put your camera. Check this, where's the... Oh, there we go. Camera, there's a camera. Go. Not the best one, but... It's there. 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 Small terminal for us to look at the cameras. Small terminal. Nothing too fancy. We're just trying to go for the basic. Trying to go for the most basic looking area because we're not building a map right now. We're just building the camera system for tutorial. The pack I'm using is FNAF 2 open source. It's a really good one. It's a really good pack. I'm gonna do this there and let's try here. Okay. So first you want to give yourself a command block. So you know my name is now Youngway Studios on Bedrock Edition. So alright. First thing is we want to give ourselves a command block. This is our main thing. So today, this tutorial is going to consist of repeating command blocks and chain command. We'll start with a repeating command. Now, the first command we're going to use is /test4. This command is basically a sensor, essentially. It's basically a condition statement. So we're going to do /test4 all A. If I do that, put always active. Found Youngway Studios. That off. It stops. Basically that. So, but I don't want it to do like the most basic one. I'm gonna do near player first of all. And I want to do Control-Alt-X. This is my button for copying coordinates. I copied that block right. So if you notice here, if I do that, it will not work. This will not work. Let me explain why. This is because in test 4, instead of writing the command as normal, you have to do it like this. You have to do x equals this, dash, do y equals this, dash. I actually recommend putting a space in between the dashes. Sometimes command blocks do this, where it's just like type. Oh, I recommend like first opening the command block a few times before, so it could work. Or as a reset on the command block, and then you could do R. R is the radius, how far you want it to work. That was always active. Now, if I put a comparator here, actually I'm gonna put it here for convenience. It should say found Youngway Studios on this. Of course, we're going to turn off the output in a second once the thing is done. But yeah. That's the first thing. Now, we're actually going to use test4 again. But we're gonna do it differently. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to have a repeat needs redstone. The difference is here we're going to do /test4. So for starters, we're gonna do /test4 again. Do Alt A, But instead of doing coordinate, we're gonna do something else. All right. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do slash test4 has item. This will ask for an item. Now I may be asking, what's this for? I'll explain it in a second. We're gonna do this first, essentially. So basically what this means is that it wants to give us an item. So we're gonna use, for today, we're gonna not use our own custom item. We're just gonna use colored dyes. So let's do brown dye. As item brown underscore dye. And you want to do a comma. And then you want to do a location. You want to do equals to your slot dot weapon dot main. And then you want to like close it. But before you close it, you're actually gonna be missing something. You have to put, although we put it in here, we want to add these two brackets. This will ensure that the item is sent. Brown item. That's for all brown dye. And you're asking, why isn't it working? Because because we haven't even finished it yet. Tell it the item is brown dye. Now that I do it, it just needs redstone. And then you can do execute slash run save, but we're not doing that. And now if I go here, it found Young Studios. Again. There's the thing, item found. And I'm gonna name this test for player. Simple as that. Test for player, Young Studios found, item found, Young Studios. Now that it knows we have the item, we're actually going to dump it. You're asking, why are we dumping it all of a sudden? There's a reason why. I'm going to make 5 of these. Actually, I'm going to separate them by like this for basic. Instead, we're going to call this E for brown dye. I'm going to call this R for red dye. Or not red dye. Let's do orange dye. You know what I mean? This command block makes funny. Orange dye. This one will be blue dye for blue. L for BLU. I'll be asking, why are we naming them different things? To make it easy for me to identify which is which. It's this lime. That we'll be using green second. Lime. And sorry, not green. I forgot. Pink for even more comparison. And now that we have 5 items, we can now begin test for process. So we basically want this to activate a command block. These are all inactive. Turn them on like this. I'm gonna do this, Control Alt X. Copy this. And I'm gonna do a impulse slash fill here. Redstone underscore block. This will turn that on and immediately use all these items. Now we're actually going to use a chain command block here. So now we're going to do it like this. So do that, boom. Boom. Does that. Now I'm actually going to add another thing here, and I'm going to do... Okay, so we're going to do another command. We're going to use slash item, which is an actual command, by the way. Oh wait, no. Got it. Slash replace item. Now, if you forget what the what it's supposed to be, you could do slash replace item here. Just study it from here, right? It'll give you everything. So we want to do slot ID, number, and the item. I'm gonna start by all A. Entity all A. Forget constantly, you should go here into the command terminal by pressing T or slash. And then you want to do, we have given all these items. I'm going to do slot hotbar. You have all sorts of stuff. All sorts of places to put it. Slot hotbar. And slash replace item. All A. Slot dot hotbar. You can okay, so fun fact. 0 means this slot. And now let's give myself brown underscore die. 0 means this slot right here. So now say like I press this a command block, immediately I'm given a brown die. And this next one, and we're gonna make another command. We're gonna actually put this on number 2 because 2 is this. 3, 4, 5. So the 2's here. So the 2's here. I want it. This slot. This 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 5 items, so we're gonna go 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, if I run this command, they ask you, well, it stopped working. It's not working. I'll tell you why. Because here, you have to put chain always active. You see, once this activates, it will go to the chain command block, and because it's always active, it will immediately run the chain command block, allowing us to do okay, so there's a mistake here. Where we actually have to do 1. This is the amount. Okay. Sorry. So we have to put the hotbar. So we know that's 0, but we want it on 2. We want this on 3. We want this on 4. 5. 6. Remember. Okay, here's something you should remember. When you replace item entity, when you do the slot, it's gonna ask you which slot you want the first, not the number of items. Number of items comes after once you name that. Now if I do this, boom, I have all the items. Now we're gonna rename them based on this. So orange is next. Now actually there is another way to do the dice, which is way more technical and not recommended by me, which is by doing die and then like doing some sort of certain factors that give you a die. I did that in FNAF 3 and that was a pain. An absolute pain. Do not do that. It's not good. Okay, pink die. Now if I go here, yeah. And now it would tell me it's found my die. Now I'm actually gonna copy this, and essentially what we're gonna do is, this is brown die, right? So we want to replace, so I want to copy this. We're gonna clear ourselves. We're gonna air and Now we need to do always active chain. I want to copy each of this. So when you do this, I actually recommend making this impulse needs redstone or chain redstone. Unless I'm being toxic. I'm coming with it. So I don't know if this will work or not because I didn't test it fully. Yeah, I know. So we're gonna copy. Okay, I'm gonna turn this off real quick, and then I'm going to add. I'm gonna move it up by 1. You're asking why it's a 1? Because here's the thing: repeated command blocks aren't exactly your favorite item. Not exactly the best thing, and they don't really, or not really. You know. Command chain or command blocks are probably one of the most confusing things if you don't understand how they work. So now that if I do this, if I only hold, yeah, like 1, maybe like, oh, but your items, but you're losing the item. What's gonna happen? It's not good. That's why we're gonna copy this here. Copy that, Control Alt G. Okay, so here's the thing. I want to give this. Essentially what I just did was essentially, if I go here, boom, camera system. Sense, and it works. Well, that works. Now I want to make it so if this is on, it won't do anything. And then if this is off, it will just clear all in. I recommend putting a repeater here. Clear all A. Simple as that. Boom. I'm going to turn on the radius to 0.5. I recall 0.5 is the slowest radius. 0.7. Nope. 9. Just one. I just want one. But yeah, we got a camera system. It works, surprisingly. We now have a pretty extensive command. Now the next thing you may be asking, what about holding the item? Well, holding the item works, of course, surprisingly. Now because these have no ticks, it'll immediately happen. So this next one I want to copy is I want always active chain / camera Alt A fade time 0 0 0 0. Now I don't know if this will work or not because I have never tested it with 0 0 0 before. You're asking why we're doing 0 0. I'll explain why. Yeah, there we go. It's fine. It's actually works surprisingly well. I was actually expecting it to fail. Now, this is just for clarity. Because, yeah. So, here's it. Okay, now I'm going to teach you the camera command. So, here's an example. We have this. Control Alt X. We want /camera Alt A set Minecraft tree position facing. Oh, correct. Yeah, and correct if I want it to face here. Should now. Yeah. Hello there. This is the camera command. No matter what, I can move around freely and my camera will always be there. And if you want to clear it, camera, Alt A, cleared. Now essentially, this is our first command. I'm going to add it to our little thing here. Similarly, I'm going to create 4 more scenarios where we can keep our camera. This time, I'm going to put it in this position. I'm going to face it onto this wall. You can do any position you want. It doesn't matter as long as you don't have a block in it in the coordinate where you want the camera to face. And as long as you do the syntax right, you should be able to get perfectly good cameras. Now, before I'm going to give a notice in the settings, you have to turn the experimental camera features on to use the command, I'm pretty sure. Which I'm pretty sure of. Yes. The command is very new and still being experimented, so it's kind of not often used. However, people are now using it a little more often, making it more mainstream. And I used it back in Math 3 anyway, so it doesn't even... So I'm going to copy all our coordinates. I recommend pressing Control and your whatever button you use to do pick block if you want the command to copy with you. You see I have data here? This is because I'm doing Control and my pick button. What this does is it copies what's inside the command block. The same thing happens with chests. Oh yeah, camera. Before you do this, I recommend putting this on chain. Before you do impulse, make sure to put it on chain. Now, if I were to just... Yeah. Now, same here. I'm gonna put this there. Slash all A. Now that means if I enter the camera vicinity, walk away. Yeah. Camera works, surprisingly. Now, if you want sound, I recommend grabbing the coordinate where you're going to play your map. So, slash play sound. Play sound. Let's say, first we need to come up with sound. So, all Minecraft Bedrock sounds. Grab a bunch of sounds, all just on. So essentially there's this website called Dig Minecraft that has every sound effect you need. Doesn't matter which one. So I'm gonna look for one that's cool. In this case, I'm probably gonna look for something that would be nice. Let's try Alt A at least. How do I do that? I want to add these specific chords so the player can hear them no matter what. So now if I... However, I do recommend, if you're actually going to put the sound, you might want to put it on these blocks that you already have instead, because immediately when the camera comes up, it will immediately, like, watch, if I do this. Do this. Pretty sure. barely hear it. So here's what I'm doing. I'm gonna copy this. Go here, put it on that block. I'm actually gonna put a delay in text so that way it renders the block. That way, immediately when it renders the block, it will, sorry, when it starts the command, immediately it will follow that particle, meaning that no matter what, because the camera actually picks up where the sound is from instead of your player. So I recommend always putting it nowadays. I learned this on my own. I was making the maps. So I recommend putting them around some place where your cameras are going to be facing. And now that I have that, I should have a pretty good sound effect. And I'm going to put this delay ticks in 5. Delay them by 5. I put usually 5 as an option. Just so the sounds can happen while I play the camera. Alright, so now that I'm done here, I should be able to. Now, of course, I'm gonna actually change the sound because it's not that good. So, it's not that good. Not the best sound effect. Not the best sound effect. So, we're actually gonna swap it with a trapdoor sound effect. I prefer it over the chime, and the chime kind of has that looping effect, which isn't what we want for a simple sound effect. We want one sound only. Oh, sorry. That and alright. Basic. Walk away. So now that that's done, our last step is to make it so you don't have to just walk away from the camera. Because here's the thing. Although this works as intended, walking away would just not work. Also, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do /fill here with air, so that way when you're done with the command, it just does not filter. It filters out the blocks, so when you walk away, it's not there. Perfect, because you should not be keeping that on. Now this part is done. No need for this. You can actually add one more thing. Actually, don't wait. And do /say #self. Let's call it camera system. Let's call this C1. C1 open. One activate. And you can just do this for your cameras. I recommend doing this if your player does not. If you're making a map, you want someone to see where you are. I recommend putting a simple thing to tell you, oh hey, you're on this position or this area, to help ease up the map. So now that I do this, say C1 cameras, but because we're looping everything now. Walk backwards. Oh. Camera offline. Let's say camera online. Camera online. Impulse. Best owned. Oh. We're offline. Basic, easy. Now, last thing we want to do is we want to copy this again. I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to copy this here. Around here. I may be asking, what's this for? I'm going to say, item found red, and item found green. I may be asking, why are we doing this? There is a reason why, and it's actually a really good reason. Essentially, obviously for people who want to use the camera, you would want to immediately like so when you use the camera, I'm gonna have it so it teleports you here. / TP Alt A here. Away from the command. Right there. This will essentially instead, this will activate instead of that. So it'll have that, fill up that. So it'll have this, say camera online. This say camera online instead. Which is right here, right? Yeah. I'm gonna do this, 3, 5. Now that I do this, if you're asking why are we there's a specific reason why, which I prefer. That is because when we do this, I'm actually gonna move this right over here. We're gonna replace all of this except these two. I'm gonna turn this to green dye, or red dye, and then I'm gonna put this on hotbar slot 0. So I'm gonna put this on number 8. And green dye. Now if I do this, running with dye, won't work because we not do always active. Not only that, we also need to add our clear all A, camera all A clear, do this air, and do this. But basically, now that you just realize that, oh wait, you're not even doing anything. It's just straight up command blocks. I think you guys can get it now. Now, in total, you now have. Stand here. Orange is not, is fine. Close that, alright. Patch it now, and orange is here. Orange slot is on 4, and we're gonna make that air. Alright, it's on. It's on 3, it's on. If something's not working, you just add it back in. See? Still a delay, but that's fine. And now that we have green dye, my item on number 8. Air. Once you do that, you officially have a Minecraft Bedrock camera system. Now, of course, before you when you uploading your map, I recommend doing Minecraft game rule command block outputs false. This will stop showing any command blocks if I go here. No message. Camera system online. C5 activated. C4 activated. C3 activated. C2. C1. Now you have official camera system. And if I put on now, that's how you make a camera system in Minecraft Bedrock. You can use this for any of your own maps. You don't need to copy what I exactly did, depending on the item. You can make your own items. You can use someone else's. Overall, it all boils down to the test for command, the replace item command, and the just the test for command, item, camera, and kind of good play sound. It's 4 commands. I'll leave them on the list right here on the screen. Test for play sound, camera, and / replace item. These are extremely important for making a camera function in Minecraft Bedrock. So now that we're done with this, I will leave my time here, and I hope this answers the question on how to make a camera system in Minecraft. There's nothing else to say, so thank you so much for watching today's video. If you all enjoyed this video, tell me, and I'll make another tutorial on other things. I can make a lot of stuff, and I'm pretty sure I can teach y'all more than what you know. Anyway, see y'all on the flip side.